Hi, welcome to Mind Over Matter. My name is Rachel. My channel is all about addressing the importance of having a positive mindset and how that can help you achieve success in life. I am a psychology student, and a lot of my videos do revolve around psychology because I definitely think it holds the key to unlocking true potential. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please do subscribe so that you get notified of new content that I post, and I am very happy to see you here. So the first half of today's video will just be a casual vlog. I've got a really nice place to study, so it's the perfect environment that I can work in. It's quiet, it's sunny, it's well lit, and it's quiet. So I'm just gonna be getting some of my assignments out of the way before my classes start. And then in the second half of the video, we're going to talk about the importance of setting the right goals for this year. As you know, a lot of people do set New Year's resolutions and stuff, but very few people actually make it to the end of the year still following them. So we're going to talk about how to stick to your goals for this year. I have some goals that I have set, and I'm going to be talking about how we can make sure that we are setting ourselves up for success. And I'm going to be talking about how we can give ourselves the best chance at actually following through. So stay tuned, and yeah. The sun's in my eye. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna move to another table because the sun's in my eyes, but it's good lighting. First things first, coffee. It's good coffee, and it's got like really cute like Christmassy things on it. So yeah, this kind of stuff really makes my day. You know what would really make my day though? If I could just get this assignment out of the way. So I don't really know why the transition kind of cut off there. So right now I'm on my way to the library. I've been trying to go to the library more often because I feel like I really am able to get a lot of work done in the library, specifically this area. It's so cozy. It's like this little room that's obviously full of books, but at the same time it's these like warm, welcoming lamps. Wow, that's me. And then I just kind of cracked on with my work. I mean, I had look at my typing skills. Jeez. Well, actually, I'm a pretty slow typer. Actually, obviously because it's a time lapse, it's just way more faster, and it's kind of funny. But I was just doing one of my assignments, and I think I made pretty good progress. Usually, I will never say this, but it is so quiet. It is very quiet in here. Anyway. Right, so moving on. I finished my assignment just in time to catch the sunset. It's a very pretty sunset this evening. I'll be heading home now, so I will see you then. I hope you're comfortable because we are going to be talking about some uncomfortable topics, and that is how we need to change our outlook this year. Okay, now this is a cycle that everybody seems to want to break but never gets the chance to do so because we keep repeating our mistakes. It is human to make error. There is no such thing as perfect, but at the same time, we can get better every year. That should be our ultimate goal. Be at least 1% better than you were last year. How do we make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success? Right? It's all about goal setting and manifesting those goals. Now, before you click out of this video thinking manifestation is stupid and it has no scientific evidence, there is nothing to actually support that it works, I agree with you. Okay? There's no research, there's no evidence, but there are a lot of people who believe in how powerful manifestation is, and I think we need to move away from the definition of manifestation that we have been taught. Manifestation is not you putting wearing rock bracelets and things like that. It doesn't have to do anything with that. I mean, if that's the kind of manifestation you're into, then fine, but that's not what I'm into. I'm into manifestation in terms of you attracting by the law of attraction, and you can link this to the law of attraction, but basically it is you trying to replicate in real life your ideal life. So if I ask you to think of your ideal self, okay? Imagine yourself, but imagine all your successes. Imagine your successes, imagine your career, imagine your, what you eat, what you wear, what you do, your hobbies. Imagine your ideal self, okay? Manifestation is all about you making sure that you are trying your best to achieve that by mimicking it, but in real life. Okay, so you can think it, and manifestation might look to some people as vision boards. Now, why do vision boards work? It is because every time you pass by your vision board, right? You're making a vision board for yourself, you pass by it, you are reminded of the fact that that is your ideal life and your current life does not look like that. So you need to change what you're doing in your current life in order for it to look like your vision board. That is why it's just a constant reminder. It is basically a more visual version of a to-do list, because most people, they are not really inclined to look at a to-do list every day. They are more inclined to look at the aesthetics of their ideal life and then try their best to fake it until they make it by actually doing things to work towards it. Okay, and I don't consider that faking it, I consider that manifesting it. Okay, now, so in terms of goal setting, what should your vision boards look like? You can make it very pretty. Don't be afraid to make your vision boards very dramatically successful. It is fine to dream big. But at the same time, when you're actually thinking about what you want to accomplish this year, you need to make sure, at the very least, you should make sure that your goals are at least within the realm of reality. Because there are some people out here trying to do a 360 at the end of the year, right? And you are just fooling yourself, right? Because, maybe you can sit and think, okay, come 1st of January, I'm gonna be a completely different person. Okay, I'm gonna go from type B person to type A person. You know what I mean? You can think that way. You can do that. You can even do that. You can fake it for maybe a week, okay? And the second week, you're just gonna see a decline. How do we make sure that our progression is linear? How do we make sure that our progression is on an upward slope? Even though it might be crooked, it doesn't have to be linear, but it needs to be at least relatively upward. Okay, it shouldn't be downward for sure. Okay, so that should be our ultimate goal. Right? So you need to make sure that your goals are achievable. You cannot change your personality overnight. You cannot change habits that you have taught yourself is right over the period of 365 days and say that is the wrong way to live, and come the next year, I'm going to be a completely different person. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay, and secondly, you need to make sure that you're doing everything you can in order to support the likelihood of you actually taking part in these activities. This also can be a form of manifestation, okay? And here's the real secret to being able to do this. You need to put yourself in situations that naturally encourage you to follow your goals, okay? What this means is surrounding yourself with the right people. Now, I know that you're going to think, okay, well, I've heard this like a million times. Okay, be around the people you want to be like, blah, 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 blah. Your friend group is important. Everybody says that, but people don't do it out of the fear of interaction, okay? Not a lot of people want to interact with people who are much more wealthy than them, okay? It needs to be natural to some extent. So what you need to do is, it doesn't have to be about interaction, okay? Move away from the idea that it has to be about interacting with people. Sometimes it is you being in a room that inspires you, okay? So it can go for literally any goal that you might have. For example, if you just want to read more, you go to a library, okay? So you take the reading part out of so you can write it down as a goal, right? But, read more as a goal. But You need to break down your goals into things that you can actually do to accomplish them. You can't just say, you know, that's a problem with most people. Their goals are very abstract. They're very vague. That is why it is confusing our minds so much, because our minds are like, okay, you've written this task down for me, but I don't really know how to do it. You need to chalk out a plan that is realistic and that is within the realms of reality and within your capability to do, okay? So if you are just saying, I'm going to read 100 books this year, if you are a person who previously hasn't read even one book, it is a bit of a stretch, but it's possible, right? Okay, so it's possible. It is within the realms of reality, but you might be struggling to be capable of doing it when you have taught yourself not to read, right? You have previously not read ever, okay? So how do we target this, right? How do we target this? This might be what's keeping you from doing it. You're not capable of doing it. It's not that you're not capable of reading. It's that you're not capable of being someone who reads 100 books a year when previously haven't read any book ever. So how do we target this? Because this is potentially something that can keep you away from achieving this goal. You do something that you are capable of. For example, you go to a library. Do you know how stupid you're going to feel if you just go to a library and just sit there and do nothing? No, naturally you're going to go and read a book. You're actually going to physically go to a shelf, pick up a book, start reading it. Okay? So that is one situation. For example, if you want to lose weight, okay, if you are overweight, you want to lose weight, stop hanging around with people who don't care about that weight. Go and be with people, or go into situations, right? You don't have to interact. Go to a situation where you see people caring about their weight. For example, you go to a gym. You just go there. Go to a gym. Do you know how stupid you're gonna feel if you just go to a gym and just sit there and do nothing? No, naturally you're going to want to work out. You're going to see people who have their life together, who have their they have the same goals as you. You're gonna work out. You can't resist the urge of working out there. It is that simple. Another thing is, you need to work on your goals consistently, okay? You can't just do this huge dramatic shift in your personality, or completely do something and expect results the same day. Like, do something and then expect results the same day. You can't do that. It's about consistency. It's about giving yourself that 1 year period, okay? When you are at a specific day, don't forget that you have the year or the rest of the months of the year. How do you achieve consistency? It doesn't come from motivation or inspiration. Motivation and inspiration are very temporary things. In order to actually get yourself to do these things, like going to the gym and, surrounding yourself with the right people and, eating healthy, whatever, you need to make sure that you're disciplined. Discipline will always outweigh motivation. Now, this brings me back to when I was talking about your highest self, your ideal self, okay? Sometimes people don't achieve their goals because they simply cannot fathom that kind of success. Do you know that there are people who are actually scared of being too rich? And that's actually preventing them from becoming rich. There are people who fear very large amounts of wealth. They get uncomfortable when they see people dealing with such large amounts of wealth. They cannot fathom the idea of making a purchase worth billions of dollars. That's what's keeping them poor. That is what's keeping, and it's like you need to ensure that you're comfortable with wealth, because if you can't understand how much wealth there is in this world, it's never going to find you. You need to allow yourself to become rich. This might seem like a very stupid concept to some people, because you might be like, okay, what? But there are people who are scared of money. I don't really understand it, but there are people. another part of what manifestation can look like, okay? Again, you may not agree with it, but it is, to me, manifestation can be rooted in reality, okay? It doesn't have to be this dramatic, like, magical thing. Manifestation can be as practical as setting an algorithm for you or making your algorithm work for you. So everybody knows about your For You page. There's a For You page on many different social platforms, everywhere. So when you notice that your For You page is actually just toxic stuff, like unproductive material, like rubbish material, you need to clear that out, okay? You need to expose yourself. Again, this is exposing yourself to who you want to be. You are what you watch. You are what you eat. You are what you listen to. So you need to make sure that you are not only consuming good food, you're consuming good content, you're consuming good company, you are consuming good information, you are consuming good habits, okay? Consuming is not just food, okay? It's about content. It's about so many other things that you consume on a day-to-day basis. Think of it as consumption. When you feel like whatever you watch is fun, think of watching as consumption. We tend to tie the word consumption with food, but we don't realize that consumption is so many other things. You are consuming content. This content is something that you are consuming physically without you even realizing it. So it is so important for you to control what you're consuming online. Things like brain rot, things like, just unwanted information, toxic comparison, right? You need to filter that out, and you need to let your For You page do the work for you. This is not something that'll come naturally. You need to go out and physically type in TED Talks by people in your specific field of interest, or, just go to YouTube right now and type in how to invest money, or how to live a healthier lifestyle, or how to literally just go to YouTube right now and do that. So now your For You page will start recommending these kinds of videos to you. So it's going to be something that's natural. Your goal is to make your goals as natural as possible. Make the situations that you are in as naturally encouraging for you to complete a goal. It needs to be natural, okay? Because we like comfort. We don't like going out of our comfort zones to search these things on a day-to-day basis. So you need to make your comfort space something that is generated by you when you are feeling productive and when you are feeling motivated. So right now you might be motivated because you are watching this video. So that tells me that you're motivated in making sure that you are reaching your goals. So right now, when you're in this phase, go to your platforms, clean the For You page out. Okay, clean it out. It is going to change your life. And anyway, that brings us to the end of this video. My name is Rachel from Mind Over Matter. I hope you've enjoyed this new format that I've been experimenting with. So that's why the first half of this video was more like a vlog, and then the second half is more inspirational. So I hope you've taken something away from both parts of this video. I hope you've learned something new from the second half, but I hope you've enjoyed the first. Again, my name is Rachel from Mind Over Matter. It was lovely having you here. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe. But thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you in my next vlog. Bye!